Hello and welcome to the Well Nourished Woman program. I'm so excited you are here. I'm so excited to be supporting you on this journey. So I thought I would take the opportunity to introduce myself for those of you who may be new to my world, new to working with me, and kind of just give you a little bit of a background on, my health history, as well as sort of what was the catalyst to really creating this Well Nourished Woman program. So if you are new in my audience and new to working with me, my name is Courtney Rousel. I often refer to myself as Coach Courtney. And for the last decade and a half, 15 plus years, I've been specializing in women's health, in particular women's weight loss. And then for the last, I would say 3 to 4 years, I've been really diving very deep into supporting women on their hormonal healing journey. Why? Because I found myself struggling back in 2019. So if you've been following me, you know this story, but for those of you who may be new, I think it's important for you to understand that, I've gone through my challenges too, and I can resonate with a lot of things that you may be currently struggling with. And so back in 2019, I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism as well as adrenal fatigue. And I was a hormonal hot mess. I had gained 20 pounds. I had never struggled with my weight before. I was chronically fatigued no matter how much sleep I was getting. I had aches and pains. My workouts were just, I didn't feel good in my workouts anymore. I wasn't motivated. I was feeling a lot of, again, fatigue, but a lot of joint pain, discomfort, a lot of puffiness. I was retaining a lot of water. It took me longer to recover from my workouts. I was like chronically sore, and that irritated me because I had never experienced any of this before. I had intense sugar cravings. I mean, I laugh and joke about it now, but I was pretty ashamed back then. I mean, I'm a health coach and I'm driving through Tim Hortons twice a day to get a Boston cream donut. I know better, but I had no willpower. My motivation was tanked. I had no drive. I had no motivation. My periods became irregular and erratic, and I'd always been, really consistent with my cycle. And so I was pretty much putting myself into early menopause. I was headed into early menopause at the age of 43. And I remember seeing a video of myself from behind. We often don't see ourselves from behind because we take all of our photos and we see images in the front. And I saw myself from behind. I was like, oh, if I didn't know it was me, I wouldn't have recognized myself. And that was the moment where I said, okay, like there's something going on. Like this is not me. Like, what is going on here? And that's what really, dove me deep. I just really dove deep into understanding what shifts were happening in my body to cause these symptoms. I mean, I had all the education and all the knowledge up until that point and was feeling great. I'm like, what is going on all of a sudden? And as I started to do the research and investing in programs and investing in other practitioners and investing in, expensive blood testing and all the things, I realized that it was hypothyroidism and adrenal fatigue that I was struggling with, but the root cause was stress. I was going through a, really intense separation. We were in high conflict family court for several years, and I was really stressed about it. It was impacting how I was showing up in my business. Therefore, I was stressed in my business. Things didn't feel as easy as they once were. And it was that accumulation of chronic stress over a several year period that really did some damage on my metabolism, really tanked my thyroid, which is the igniter for your metabolism. My adrenals shut down. I could no longer survive on cortisol and adrenaline to get me through, which is what most of us as women are running on most days. We're getting through. Well, you may be here because you've burnt out. And I, at that point, burnt out. And I knew I had to create a change. And I knew I had to go about it in a different way. And so as I was journeying through, obviously I read a lot, I studied a lot, I invested in a lot of courses, and I got to a point where I was, like many of you are, just information overload. I just didn't know. I was like, do I do this? Do I do that? And I just said, okay, let's bring it home for a second. And what feels good to me, what makes sense to me to start with. And so as I started to incorporate some of the things I was learning and incorporate some of the changes, I was able to just tune in and go, okay, this feels good for me, this does not feel good for me. And it was in that journey of reconnecting with my body, being able to tune into my intuition and to be able to understand what my signs and symptoms were meant and how I was able to make the connection to what I needed to change is when I really healed myself. And so this is where the concept that a nourished woman came from, that it's not just about nourishing ourselves from a nutrition perspective. There's so many aspects of what it means to feel truly nourished and to heal our metabolism, to heal our thyroid, to balance our hormones. Nutrition is where we're going to start, right, in this Nourished Woman program, but it's really understanding how to take the nutrition information and then implement it and then do a check-in. How are you feeling, right? So this journey of the well-nourished woman is designed to help you reconnect with your body. We have become so disconnected because we are outside of ourselves looking for the fixes. We are getting caught up in the hype because we're highly marketed, right? There's so many diet strategies and so many approaches, and eat this and not that, and try this superfood and try this supplement. My God, all of us have a supplement graveyard somewhere in our cabinets, right? So again, we've never had more information, but we've never been more confused. And so throughout all my years of working with women, especially now as we're in our 40s and our 50s, and we're really wanting to understand the impact of those earlier years on our life and how it's really impacting how we're feeling now and how we're showing up. I'm starting to realize now, like I'm starting to see this really big pattern that I experienced, that again, so many women have over the years, is that we don't trust ourselves anymore. We don't know what's right for us, and we're looking to somebody else for the answers. I think it's important to have a guide. I had guides. I'm now your guide. Take what that guide is suggesting or recommending, take the education, and then implement it and say, hey, how do I feel eating this way? How do I exercise? How do I feel when I exercise this way? So this whole journey of becoming a nourished woman, really the foundational root of this program is about teaching you how to finally trust your body. So you're not placing all your trust outside of yourself. You're placing your trust in here. So you get to a place of understanding, so having the education and understanding how best to implement it for your unique body based on where you are in your journey. So now that I know and have a deep understanding of how I'm eating and how I'm exercising and how I'm living and how it impacts me, when I start to see symptoms creep up again, I know exactly what I need to fix because I had gone through the implementation of the protocols and strategies and things I'm going to teach here. And I was able to say, wow, when I exercise this way, when I eat this way, this is when I feel the best. So if I start to veer off that a little bit and I start to experience symptoms like, oh gosh, I'm letting too much caffeine creep in again. Oh gosh, I'm letting too much wine creep in again. Oh gosh, you know what? I've been, going too long without eating first thing in the morning, and that's what's causing my cravings later in the day. I have the education and I have the intuitive knowing what it is I need to change and fix. This is the nourished woman. The nourished woman has the education and the intuitive ability to trust that she knows what she needs. But as women, we have become more disconnected than ever from our body. And so this is, in the Nourished Woman program, a journey of you coming home to yourself, of closing the doors out there and coming in here and building a loving, compassionate, patient, gentle relationship with yourself, where you're letting go of dogmatic ways, where you're letting go of extreme restriction and deprivation. You're letting go of all those rules. You're creating your own rules, right? You're creating a protocol, an approach, a strategy that works best for you, because what works for me, which is much of what I'll share here, may need to be tweaked subtly for it to work for you. For example, I don't do well on dairy. I do let it come in 1 or 2 days, but if I have dairy 3 days in a row, I will feel constipated, I will feel bloated, I won't feel good. I'll be sluggish, I'll have mucus build up, I just won't feel my best. Same thing with grains. You'll hear me talk about this in some of the modules. If I incorporate too much grains like rice or brown rice pasta or oats, which are all healthy foods, if I incorporate them too much, I can experience symptoms again where I start to experience cravings again. I'm not satiated and satisfied. I'm hungry even though I've eaten and I'm within my calorie range for the day, but I'm overeating and that's causing weight gain and I'm bloated and all the things. But now I know. Now I'm able to go and look back and go, it's because I had oatmeal 3 days in a week. So yeah, it was good and it was healthy and I loved it, but it's not the best for me. You may often hear me say, love food that loves you back. So this is a journey of you, taking this path forward of incorporating good, wholesome nutrition. We're going back to the basics. We're going back to the foundation, fundamental eating principles that your body needs. It's about nourishing yourself on the deepest foundational level, on the deepest cellular mineral level, so that you can feel nourished and you can feel well. And it's taking that and then moving forward. And if you veer a little bit, or if you try something new, you're able to discern what is best for you. That's my deepest desire, is that you get to a place where you're no longer doubting yourself. You're no longer questioning if what you're doing is right. You know. The reality is, though, there is a lot of gray area. There's a lot of gray area when it comes to healing your hormones, balancing your hormones, healing your metabolism, losing the weight. There's a lot of gray area. And that's kind of what leaves us so confused as women, is because we just want to know, right? You're just hoping that you signed up for this program and I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do. It's not that easy. And it's not going to be this easy all the time either, because what you're implementing now, it's working for you now, that may change. I'm certainly noticing subtleties. Things that I did when I was 43 to heal are changing again now. I'm able to, maybe now that I'm more further into my healing journey, I can have a little bit more caffeine. I can have a little bit more of the forbidden foods, for example, and not cause as much hormonal chaos in my body. So you are going to ebb and flow in this journey, right? It's allowing yourself to be able to let go of the dogmatic ways, the black and white, and sit in this gray area and learn to trust that you can flow and ebb and flow, right? It's not all or nothing. It's not on or off. It's not focusing on perfection and following this meal plan exactly as it is outlined. If you've been doing that up until now, that's probably why you're here, because those ways don't work. So I'm encouraging you, as you take this journey with me, that you are patient with yourself, you're patient with me in the learning process, and that you keep an open mind, that this is a new way of going about this journey for you. This is about bringing it back home and building an innate trust and knowing that what you are doing is right for you, not what's right for somebody else, not what's right for thousands of other women that follow this program. It's what's right for you now. So I'm going to teach you the tools and strategies for you to confidently and safely build that trusting relationship with yourself. So really looking forward to educating you on this journey, sharing so much with you. I really hope that you enjoy learning along with me. I certainly hope that you enjoy this journey, and thank you again so very much for being a part of the Well Nourished community.